Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome back to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel, going live pretty much every Friday. So glad that you're here. We're going to hang out a second and see who else comes on. Hello. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to the end of the week. We made it. We're going to wait for some more folks to pop on. Hello. So glad you guys are here. Got another project today working on an 8.5 by 11 layout using the materials that I used last week. I am working from my stash, a little stash inspiration, if you will. So that should be a lot of fun. Go ahead and post in the comments section if you're here. Hello. Happy Friday, everyone. Oh boy, so glad you guys are here. I am trying to finish up as much work as I possibly can because I don't plan on working this weekend. I can help it. So I'm trying to make Friday as productive as possible. Carrie says she's off work so she can join live. Well, Carrie, I hope that you have enjoyed your day off so far. Hello, everybody. I was waiting for everyone to pop on. Hello. Oh boy, the Dawn 39. Tammy, Crafty Disney Girl, Melissa, Patricia, Kelly, Gary, Michelle, Erica, Brenda, Barb, Kathy, Dorothy, Angie, hello. And Cindy and Deborah, hello. So glad that everyone's here. So glad you're here. If you're liking the stream, make sure you hit that thumbs up, let YouTube know that you enjoy this type of content. And also, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel and click the bell so you'll get notified each and every time we go live here whenever I post content. Carrie says, TPS report cover sheet is on standby. Still working. Get those TPS report sheets up. Get those spreadsheets up just in case you got to switch screens while you're watching this. Hey, Lori, what's going on? Gemma says, when you say stash, you mean older stuff, because I would call everything in my room stash. Usually it's stuff that I've had for a while. Any of my new product, if anything that I've purchased new that has come in recently, I consider that my new product. Any stash is stuff that I've already used and I've put it into my stashy collection. So for me, it's whether I've used it or not is how I determine what my stash is. Hello, everybody. Hello. Antonella, wrong emoji. That's okay. We can do kissy emoji. How about that? We're socially distanced. We'll be okay. Hello, Danielle. Hello. Scrapping with Lori. Carrie says, it's been a beautiful day. Panera souffle for breakfast and scrapping the rest of the day. That sounds awesome. Hey, Sarah, what's going on? So glad you're here. We got lots of Sarahs. Hello, all the Sarahs that are here. Hey, Cindy, what's going on? Good day to you as well. So glad you guys are all here. All right, I got 2 o'clock straight up and down. Let's go ahead and get started. So welcome to the Friday Live. If you're new to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel, welcome. I'm Victoria Calvin, owner of Victoria Marie Designs. You have landed here in the Victoria Marie Scrap Boss community where we have a lot of fun and we enable each other and we buy stuff and, that's just what we do. I go live every Friday here on the channel, well, most Fridays here on the Victoria Marie YouTube channel, where we chat and I make some things and either people are scrapbooking along with me or they're working or they're doing something else, but we don't rat on people if they're working. So just be prepared if the boss comes in, unless of course you are the boss, right? Erica says she's actually playing along right now. That's awesome. Scrapping with Lori says, I have papers that are 10 years old. Should I keep them? You should use them, Lori. You should absolutely use them. Hello to everybody who's new here, by the way. We've got a lot of new people who have joined the channel recently, and this is going to be their first live, or their first live was last Friday. So welcome to all of our new folks. We got some first-timers here. Hello. Hey, Kim, what's going on? I finally remembered to get on. Yay! Kelly says, I made it to another live. That's awesome. So glad that you guys are here today. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to continue working with the items that I pulled last week. And I made a 12 by 12 layout, which I'm going to switch my screen here in just a second. But I made a 12 by 12 layout using items from my stash. Now, what do I qualify as items in my stash? If it's an item that I have used or has been in my scrappy space for a while, say maybe over 6 months to a year, then I consider that as a part of my stash. I usually try to use my new product when it comes in. A lot of it is for projects and things, so I need to use those things as they come in. But things that have been sitting around in my stash for a while, those half-used packages, the scrap paper, maybe some packages that hadn't been opened, but they've been in my stash for a long time, they're not considered new stuff, like haven't recently come out stuff, then that's what I consider my stash. And I know everyone defines that differently for whatever that means. Now, I tend to like to use my stash along with new stuff that I get. So if I purchase something and it's come brand new, haven't opened it yet, I like to pair that with things that have been in my scrappy stash for a long time. Some people just qualify it all as stash. So if it comes in the room, that's a part of your stash, and that's pretty cool too. So it's however you want to define it. So let me know in the comment section, have you been using items out of your scrappy stash? Do you pair it with your new stuff? Have you not purchased anything so far this year or for a while, and you're only focused on using what's in your scrappy stash? There's a lot of people who do that, who put themselves on a spending freeze, and so they're trying to use what they have currently in their collections versus buying new stuff. So let me know in the comments section, kind of where are you at with your stash? I like doing these videos, and I get a lot of good comments from these videos because people see us designers and making things with new stuff all the time, but sometimes may not always see us make things with the stuff we already have or some older product, and how we compare that with some of the newer product. Some of the things that I have today that I'm using that I pulled last week isn't necessarily super, super old, but it's stuff that I've had in my stash for a while. So let me know in the comment section, how do you work with your stash? Do you pair it with your new stuff? Are you trying to use all of the things that you have in your, or at least a good chunk of what you have in your collection versus buying new stuff? That type of thing. Or do you just like using new product? Does it get bored? Do you get bored with it after a while? Once you use it for the first time, it's like, you put it away and then you move on to the new things, right? So let me know in the comment section below. Sylvie says, I have product over 20 years old, but I still use it once in a while. Janet's on a spending freeze. The Don 2039 says, I use old and new, but excited to use older when I can. Absolutely. Timmy says, being super picky about what I purchased this year. I have a hard time purging, so there's just so much stuff in my space. And, I think there can be such a thing as product, like the product can create creative paralysis, right? You have too many things, and then you have to make so many decisions about what it is that you're using. So I totally get that. At the point where it becomes overwhelming, I like to just purge and just let go of stuff that I'm no longer using. Heather says, I have pulled out years worth of kits that have not been touched, but I'm getting them used now, so that makes me happy. That's fantastic. Gemma says, yep, she mixes old and new. She's been trying to avoid buying paper because she has hundreds of sheets of paper. I mean, how many of us have like tons of paper, right? We're paper crafters. We have tons of paper. Callie Crafting, hello, says, I shop my stash, but I'm adding to my stash all the time. So, yeah, I get it. I feel you. Let's see, Andrew says, I always scrap depending on my photos, so I mix it up, print pictures to match my new products. How many of us have bought something just to match a story that we plan on doing? Like, oh, I have these photos, or in anticipation. I do that all the time. Mostly use current stash. Spinning freeze here, says Danielle. Looks like there's some spinning freezes. Looks like there's folks who have kits that they're trying to use, a mix of old and new. Cindy says, last weekend my Inner Victoria came out and I used a whole kit and then dispersed it into my giveaway box. Woohoo! That is awesome. That is awesome. Kelly says that she put herself on a stash freeze just because I have too much stuff and I'm moving. So it's using my stash. Absolutely. And I think what's so fun about using your stash is that you kind of fall back in love with the things that you have, right? The things that we were initially excited about when we bought it. We had to have those things. We bought a whole bunch of it. And then you fall back in love with it. So absolutely. Barb says I'm using stash for the past year, so I haven't purchased much other than tools. Absolutely. Antonella says a specific project is gigantic. Travel album. I use the older stuff, but realized that the fun missing newer stuff, or that you have, yes, so you miss the fun of the newer stuff. So mixing the old with the new. And I think when you mix the old and the new, then you're able to leverage those products a whole lot more, and you don't have stuff just kind of sitting in there. You can use it all simultaneously, right? Okay, so speaking of, let me show you what I did last time. I'm going to actually switch my screen, so let's hang out for just a second. And Let me make sure that this is, yes, we can read that. Awesome. Make sure it wasn't flipped upside down. Okay, let me go here. It should be switching here in just a second. There we go. Alrighty. So I'm working with an 8.5 by 11 layout, and I went ahead and did some pre-work on this. I did my journaling text box, cut it out, Microsoft Word. I also have 2 photos here of my kiddo, and I'll explain what the story is in just a second. But those are cut down small. I have kind of a smaller scale project here. I went ahead and trimmed some white cardstock down about an inch or about ½ an inch on 2 sides, maybe a little bit larger than that. And I also have from my paper stash this pattern paper. This was 12 by 12. I cut it down to 8.5 by 11. This was from Lawn Fawn, and I forget the name of the collection. But I'm going to use this so I can border my layout. I really love these blues and such. Now, in last week, what I did was I pulled out a whole bunch of scrap papers and I cut them all into strips. And I basically did this so I can create some unique backgrounds on my layout. I love taking my old papers and cutting them down. I also showed you the sizes I typically will trim my scrap papers down. So I collect them all in a large plastic bag, and then at the end of the month, I trim them all down to sizes that I normally scrapbook with. So like 12 by 6 or 6 by 12, 6 by 6, 4 by 4, 3 by 4, so really easy sizes that I can use for my scrapbook projects. And then sometimes I trim them up in strips and use them for various different things. Today, I'm going to create kind of a very clean and simple background using some of these strips. And then I think next week, or maybe I'll post it on my Instagram. I do want to use some of these strips to make some cards at some point too. So I'm going to keep these hanging out in my stash and use them in some way, whether I use them immediately or not, but they're all cut up ready to go. So what I did was I took some of these strips and I'm going to create a background. Now you may not be able to see this super clearly because I'm using some press and seal. So I introduced this last week. Some of you are familiar with this little hack here. But if you're laying things out like flat stuff on your layout, papers and die cuts and that type of thing, and you have them all positioned and you don't want to move them, if you take a piece of press and seal and place it over the items on your layout, so here I've got some strips of pattern paper here, you place them over the items on your layout and rub it so that that press and seal can stick to it. When you pull it up, your elements are right where you need them. You put your adhesive on here and then you're able to plop it down on your layout. And what that does is it keeps those items in the order that you want them to be, in the position that you want them to be. This is a trick that I learned from card makers, specifically from Jennifer McGuire. You can find Jennifer McGuire here on YouTube. Some of you are very familiar with her. She has been in the craft and hobby industry for quite some time now, but she's most known, at least in the past few years, for making cards. And her husband is one of the creators of the press and seal product. And so I saw her use this and other card makers use this hack before. And so I said, you know what? We can use that in scrapbooking as well. So I took a piece of the press and seal. You can get this at any grocery store or whatnot. And what I did was I have some pattern papers here. You're going to see it here on the layout. And I laid them out where I want them to position. And this is going to serve as a layering element behind my photos. And I'm sort of doing this kind of lattice type design where the pattern papers are kind of crisscrossing each other. Very loose design, nothing too major. And I'm going to stick it on my layout so that I have a really fun layered element behind my photos. So that's how I'm going to use that scrap paper. Then I have a bunch of other elements that I may use. I've got some, well, they're falling out the package. I've got some cork. I got some stickers. I really want to use one of these, but it's probably not going to be on that project. I'm going to probably stamp my title. I've got some die cuts, some more die cuts. I'm not going to use all of these on here because, guys, it's an 8.5 by 11 layout. I'm trying to keep it simple today. Got some little wood epoxy pieces, some butterflies, some cut apart, some pull aparts. I got all kinds of stuff here that I can possibly work with. And then I also have some letter fonts that I'm going to use along with the stamping for my title. So now just a tiny bit of stuff. Now, usually for 8.5 by 11 layouts for me, I like to keep them pretty clean, pretty simple. This is kind of a funny story. My daughter came into the room and came into our bedroom, me and my wife, and she just plopped herself down on the bed. She goes, "Guys, I think I've peaked at 11. I'm so tired. I think I've peaked at 11. And you know, sometimes kids just say really fun stuff. So I thought I need to scrapbook this. And so the title of this layout is I think I've peaked. And I'm going to stamp the words I think I've, and then peaked is going to be in letter fonts. So let's go ahead and get this layout slapped together. Now, I often get asked, do you only scrapbook 8.5 by 11 or 12? Or 12 by 12? The answer to that is I scrapbook in various sizes, not just 12 by 12 and not just 8.5 by 11. I like the versatility of being able to scrapbook in different sizes, and I like the way it looks in my scrapbook albums. So to kind of go through and see different layouts of different sizes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this piece of white cardstock. This is heavy white cardstock, or is this heavy white? What is this? This might be cardstock from Hero Arts, I believe. So it's a 110-pound weight cardstock. I'm going to adhere that on that Lawn Fawn pattern paper, and I don't remember what collection it was. I was sent a collection to work on a project, and now I don't remember. Now I've got my press and seal, and I've got my pattern papers that are stuck to the press and seal, and they're not there permanently, right? So it's just gonna fall off. Brenda said, that is hysterical. Corinna's a hoot. She is a hoot, that kid. She's like, I think I've peaked. And I'm like, you're 11. She's like, I know, I think I've peaked. And I'm like, well, I kind of relate to that just a little bit. So Corinne has peaked at 11 years old. I'm going to add some adhesive on here. Just some roller adhesive. Now, these are pattern papers from different manufacturers. I've got some, God, what is this? I think I have a Felicity Jane. I've got one from a paper pack that I can't remember. This is from a Pebbles summer collection. But they all work together for this particular design. Okay, so I want this layered piece to go right here at the top of my layout. So I'm just going to take my pieces, and it's all on the press and seal. I'm just going to press this down to get it where I want it, right here on my layout. And the cool thing about the press and seal is you can see through it. I don't know if they have press and seal without a design on it. I'm pretty sure they do. I just have these ones with the little fun dots. I'm going to slowly peel it back. This is the same piece I used last week, by the way, so you can reuse your press and seal. Slowly pull that back, and then my papers are right where I want them. And I'm kind of doing sort of this loosey-goosey lattice type design. It's not like a big deal. I just wanted something fun. So now I have this unique background with this layered strip piece using these pattern papers that I cut up. Now, if I really wanted to get fancy, I could go and sew some stitching on there, hand stitch, machine stitch, whatever. I could have used some distress ink. I could have popped up some of these on foam adhesive. In that case, you probably wouldn't want to use the press and seal. You would probably want to lay down your strips and then pop up the ones you wanted on some foam. Now, what I'm thinking, I printed my photos down. Typically, when I'm doing a smaller scale layout, like an 8.5 by 11, I don't always like to use a 4 by 6 photo because I think it takes up a lot of real estate. Unless I'm doing a 2-page layout, which is, I don't do 2-page layouts that much anymore. But I like to scale down my photos when I scale down my projects. So I am going to put one photo here and one photo here just to break that up. And what that does is it gives your eye a place to rest or a place to look across the photo. I typically go for sort of this layered photo look, but I'm going to split these photos apart just like this. And I still have a good amount of this kind of lattice situation going. Notice I've got several different designs here, but the colors all coordinate well together, which is why I say never be afraid to mix those pattern papers together. You want to find the color palettes that they have in common. So this particular paper for Lawn Fawn works really well with the blues and the greens and this white pattern paper that has some font text on it. So it all works well together. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to position my photos here. I am going to back them with a little bit of white cardstock. I went ahead and pre-printed my journaling, and it says, you walked into our room and stated that you were exhausted, plopped yourself on the bed and said, Mom, I think I've peaked. I have peaked at 11 years old. Honestly, kid, I completely relate. Also, you are freaking hysterical, and I adore your humor. We are quite the humorous little family around here. We are very sarcastic, and we joke a lot. So she has definitely inherited that. I want to put my journaling right around here. Notice I kind of have kind of a gritty block situation going on, which I love. And I think I'm just going to put it right here. And then my title will probably go here. I thought about just moving my photo here to kind of have that diagonal look. That might work too. I think I like that a little bit better. Just so those photos kind of line up in that direction. And then I'm going to put my title here. And look how simple this comes together. A lot of times, particularly when I'm talking to new scrapbookers, a lot of times we think that a layout has to be like super embellished and the whole nine. And trust me, I love those types of layouts because I love using all the product and I love layering. But every now and then, you just want something that's clean and simple. And so this is what this one's going to turn out to be. So let's go ahead and get some white cardstock. I know that I want my journaling to go here, so I'm just going to go ahead and commit to that right now. And I just simply printed out a text box, Microsoft Word, nothing complicated. Okay. And let's see here. I think I'm going to move this. I'm going to put this like right here, I think, because I want my title to go right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and back the photo with some white cardstock, because that's how I roll. I'm going to get my paper trimmer. By the way, I've had people ask me how I like my new desk setup, my island setup, and the answer to that is I absolutely love it. I have everything at hand, and I work so much more efficiently standing up. Now I'm just in search of a chair that I can use that's counter height chair, which I'm not too bothered by it right now. I just take breaks in between my little crafty sessions, but eventually I'll get a chair. I'm sort of waiting for certain things to come back in stock. Oh, speaking of in stock, guys, so I ordered yesterday some of the Alex drawers from IKEA, the ones with the wider drawers, not the short drawers, but the wider drawers. I've been waiting for weeks for it to come back in stock. So if you are looking for those Alex drawers with the wider drawers, wide like this way, then check to see if they have it in stock in your area. I'm really excited to get those. They're going to come in next week. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for those. So my studio reorganization process is going to take a little bit longer than what I thought, but that's okay. Alrighty, so we're going to have this photo here. She's just laying on her bed. Drama, tween, drama. And then here. Okay. How about we add some foam to that? Let me grab my foam, because that's what we do around here. Let me bring those out already. Okay. Now I'm going to add the photos, pop those up to give them a little bit of interest, and then I'm going to work on the title. And then I'm going to look through the embellishments I have. Now, one of the things I like to do is challenge myself to use what I pull out. Or if I have a kit, I challenge myself to use what's in the kit first, and then bring in other items. I'm able to get through my kits a lot faster when I do that. Okay. Got this foam, because I know I get asked a lot, from Scrapbook.com. I love it. It's my preferred. And this is going to go right here. And then this other one is going to go right here. She's laying and kind of making a face in this photo. Make sure that's where I want it to go. Yes. All right, nice and clean and simple. Let's work on the layout. So work on the title. So I've got a couple of options here. I have my LA Studio Jane Alpha stamp set. This should still be available at LA Studio. I also have some Hip Kit Club exclusive font stickers. I have some very old Felicity Jane Heidi epoxy stickers. And then I have these very old thickers These are called Boardwalk. Cindy, this foam is from Scrapbook.com. They sell it in a variety of sizes that you can check out. This is about 1/8 of an inch thick. All right. Callie Crafty says, I've always said I've peaked in 8th grade when I was valedictorian. It's been downhill from there. Patricia said, after last week, Preston Sill went into the Walmart order. Fantastic. Cindy says, I finally got a Calyx bookcase, right? Yes. Kelly says she's still waiting for the 5x5 Calyx. Yeah. Yeah. So check it. I've been literally, I will stock IKEA. I have been stocking IKEA for weeks and weeks and weeks. Okay, so these are my choices. And I don't have a bunch of, I don't think I have any yellow in this, but I thought yellow would be fun to make the word pop. There's a tiny bit of yellow, but it's more orangey. But I also like this navy blue color. So what I want to spell is the word peaked in the font sticker and then stamp the words I think I've in the Ellie Studio. So I'm trying to see here. Before I start stamping, let me get my letters out. What I want. I'm going to be spelling backwards, which also means that I usually conveniently forget how to spell. So, so we'll see how this goes. Let's see. What are we going to do with this? We're going to go here, maybe? Let's start here, and then we'll adjust. All right, so here's that. Maybe I'll bounce the letters a little bit for some interest. Love me some sticker fonts. I like mixing my stamped sticker fonts and my my stamp fonts and my letter fonts. Like little sticker fonts is what I'm trying to say. Okay, how about we get an A? It just makes for very interesting stylized titles versus using the same font. All right, where's the pokey tool at? Get that center section of the A popped out there. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do that. That's fun. Okay, so I think that'll work. Okay. And I'm trying to decide. So I do have another alpha here that I thought I would use, but I'm trying to decide what I want to use. I have, that I pulled last week, these hazel tiled ones, which are really fun. See, now I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I'm also formulating another idea. Do I have them out? I thought about using making some type of tag of some sort that says, I think I've, and then gone into peak versus just stamping directly on the layout. So let me play around with that idea for a second. Okay. It'll all make sense. It'll all make sense in the end, I promise. So I'm going to get a piece of white cardstock. Let me set this to the side. Let me roll with this. I'm experimenting, by the way. We're experimenting. I want to see if this will work. I want something to make the title kind of pop a little bit. So I'm going to take my little Jane alphas. Will this work? I don't know. Let's find out. Let me grab a acrylic block. My box o' blocks. Let's see if I'm working with a smaller letter. I'm going to grab a smaller block. Small stamp, small block. Large stamp, big block. All right? I got lots of acrylic blocks. I always feel that you need more than one, you know? You need like a whole set. You need a whole thing. In my opinion. particularly if you stamp a lot. You know, you need some of them. Hey, Melanie, what's going on? Okay, let me get some VersaFine ink because I want to stamp this in black. And let's kind of see what we can do here. Is this evenly cut? Let me make sure. What I want to do is make a tag with my stamped journaling. That's what I'm going for here. So if you're like, Victoria, what are you doing? What are you experimenting with? That's what I'm doing. I'm not using this full piece of white cardstock, but I'll show you what I'm going to do when I get there. All right, so the eye, here it is. All right, small stamp, small block. Maybe I'll just do it here in the middle, so I'll make sure I have enough room. I don't have to spell backwards then if I do that. I kind of feel before I do this, I probably should draw a line, a straight line, because, you know, guys, I don't have an eye for straight. And even using a ruler, I can screw it up. So I'm just going to get my T-square ruler. And I'm going to draw me a line by which I can stamp my letters on. That way it's straight. Hopefully. Okay, I'm just going to do a faint line. Okay, because nothing's worse than like you're trying to do something and then it's all crooked. So, all right, let's get back to it, shall we? I'm spelling out. I think I've peaked. Okay. Clean them as I go. I'm just going to stick the ones that I like to sometimes keep an extra block out. Let me move this out the way because inevitably something's going to happen. Let me move that out the way. I like to keep my stamp chamois out. And then also keep an extra acrylic block so I can add my letters. If I'm using multiple letters, I can add my letters to that acrylic block and then put them back. Okay, the next word is think. Great way to make unique titles. Use your stuff, use those stamps. Get yourself, I say you probably need, particularly those of you if you're new to scrapbooking, get yourself a couple of stamp sets, particularly letter stamps, because then you can use them over and 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 over again. With the eye. My favorites are LA Studio. Let me know in the comment section if you like to use stamping as a part of your title work on your layouts. Do you mix your stamping with your letter fonts? I might have to get the fro up in the shot. Okay, I think my ink pad is starting to dry out. And I need a K, which I'm going to be using the K again. And just stampa right on here. Oh, I think I had this ink pad for like ever. Okay. I'm looking at my journaling to make sure I get her sentence right or her dialogue correct. I think. Let me know if you use stamping as a part of your title design on your layouts. And if not, it's a good time to start. I think. Do I have a little doodly-doo? Yes, I do have a little doodly-doo. And by doodly-doo, I mean apostrophe. Okay. Come on. Let's do it. Oh, good. Good, good, good. That's a teeny stamp. Ooh, boy, that was little. Let's see. Almost there. Let me know. Is Bree showing up? I'm confused. Isn't scrapbooking just construction paper, glue sticks, and crayons and markers? Bree, you are going to be kicked out the family. Bree, I thought you were supposed to be on a live. Aren't you supposed to be working? Up here causing trouble. Victoria, have you tried our Archival Ranger? Yes, I do use Ranger Archival ink. I've been using it for several years. And yes, it is probably the best for stamping, particularly for detailed stamping. Ariel says, I mix letter stamps with thickers. Yes, absolutely. Love my alpha stamps. There's always room for more. Got that right. I have tons of them. Tons of them. Don't think I've ever stamped a title. Barb, you should try it. You should try it. And then you can use all your different inks with it. All kinds of fun stuff. I'm trying to make sure that I keep these letters straight. Okay, I think I've peeked. Okay, I think I got it all. Okay, let me move this out the way real quick. I keep my stamp chamois in this little ceramic container that I found at Michael's like 4 years ago. That keeps it moist. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my eraser, wherever that's at. Here we go. And I'm just going to gently erase that pencil line that I made. Okay. And you can use different color ink, right? You don't have to use black, but I'm using black. And now I'm going to trim this out and just kind of make a slim tag. Using my guillotine trimmer here, try to get that cut. Sometimes I make multiple cuts because, oh, that's going to be too much. Because I'd rather cut off more than, cut off less than more. Okay, let me do that. Okay, not quite done with that yet. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to see if, I'm going to bring out my Crocodile corner chopper. This particular one with a pink handle has two designs. One's called Photo, one's called Angle. I'm going to use the Angle one. I'm going to see if the Angle one will work. Might be too narrow. Yep, it's too narrow. I'm going to have to do it by hand. No problem. Okay. So, scissors. I'm just going to snip the edge like this. And then, where's my Big Daddy chomper thingy at? Did I not put that there? I guess not. I'm looking for, where did I put that thing at? I just got it. I have a hole punch tool from We Are Memory Keepers, and it has multiple size of holes in it. Now I don't remember where I put it. Hold on just a second. Huh. Where did it go? Well, poo. No problem. I bet you as soon as I punch a hole in this tag, I'm going to find it. And then I'm going to go crap. All right, that's okay. So what I said I'm going to use is I'm going to use this punch. And what it does is it punches a little slot like that versus the hole. You just do it this way. So I'm going to come in and try to get that centered as much as I can. Now I have a tag. I'm going to put that here. And I need something, I need like a little dooley-doo there. So let's see. What do I got? Twine, maybe? Yeah. I've got some choices here. I've got some options. Kind of like the idea of using some black and white. Look, I just made that work, folks. This is why I believe in having good tools around, because then you can adjust. You can adjust right on the fly. So I'm just going to stick this right in here. Make my own little taggy tag situation. Stick this right in here. Okay. Now, that took longer than what I wanted it to, but that's okay. I'm going to pop these up. Use a little foam. Little something different, right? Little something different. I could have just stamped this to the background. It would have been fine too. I could have did a lot of things with this. Heat embossed the letters, did a little ink blending or whatever. You can also tilt this too. You know, like that. Kind of give it a little bit of interest. The type A in me is saying, no! I'm going to have to listen to her. So I like these straight lines. Okay. Do I have an exclamation point here? Yes, I do. Let's finish that up. I didn't reach in my stash for anything to make it. I just made it, right? That's what this is all about. I didn't even know if that was going to work, folks. This was on the fly. I kind of goofed it up just a tiny bit, but it worked out. All right, let me get the little dot there. I think I've peaked. There we go. Okay. Bam. Done. Done, done, done. Love that you made a tag. Me too. Oh yes, definitely give that a try. Love the new punches from We Are Memory Keeper. The tag ones and the banner ones. I've never thought of making a tag to tag with my title. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There are some techniques that I used to do all the time, and then I just kind of got away from it. But I think it's really great to stretch your creativity and see what you can make with what you have. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to come in and just add a little bit of, a little bit of stuff. Not a whole lot though, but just a little bit of stuff. I'm trying to see what all I have here in the old stasharoo. And usually when I don't have a game plan, other than, my game plan was the background. That's as far as I went with this. I just start, moving things around, seeing what'll work. I got some Felicity Jane things here. Let me see. I like this tag. I thought about that kind of balances those two out. I could also pop it right here, right directly behind the photo. Let's see, what else do I have here? Have this About Me die cut. I can also put that there. Like that. I'm just seeing what'll work. And a lot of times you just pop it down, right? Just pop it down. This label says a little life update. Something from there I can use. Let's see what else I got. Again, not trying to overcomplicate this, right? Just trying to get stories told. Got some stickers, got some of these guys. Yes. Simply the best. Love that. That's kind of giving you that visual triangle there. Just popping that down. Sometimes you just don't know until you do it. So let's do that. That was a good idea. Okay. Let's see. Anything else from that I want to use? Nope. Nope. Okay, I'll kind of keep these out and see. Okay, moving on. What else do I got here? I have these little felt hearts. I used these the last time. I only have 3 left. I have one that has blue in it. That could go there. We'll leave that there. We'll see. You know, we'll see. This is turning out to be quite a monochromatic layout here. I've got these stars from Felicity Jane. Maybe I don't want the hearts. Maybe I want the stars. The stars. The stars. Maybe I can do something like that. Again, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just, you know, I'm just going. It's different blue. Kind of like adding this black and white to it. I've got some repetitive things going on here. Okay, so that seems pretty cool. What else do I got over here? I think that might do it. I think I'm kind of commit to these stars, dudes. I think I am. Because why not? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's an odd number there. Try and decide where I want this about me. Kind of like it there. That looks like it might be fun. Or over here. Nope. I want to use this, darn it. If I put it here, then it kind of seems like it's just floating. Okay, that's where we're going to put it. All right, let's commit. We don't have commitment issues. Let's start gluing some stuff down. Vote on the stars. Love the stars. Me too, right? Erica, add some doodly-doos. That's right. That's what you do. When you're finished, when you got the main stuff down, it's time to add the doodly-doos. If those of you who've been around for a while, you know what those doodly-doos are, right? Those extra little things that you use to zhuzh up your layouts. Just add a whole bunch of them doodly-doos. I feel I should come out with an embellishment pack called doodly-doos. We don't call them embellishments anymore. We just call them doodly-doos. All right. Let's get these stars down. Because we don't have commitment issues. We're just going to plop it down on the layout. And it's just going to look fabulous. And I'm using up some of these stars that are in my stash, so that's even better. Yep, we're going to glue this straight onto the photo because that's how we roll. This is going to need a little foam dot situation. Okay. Come on, little foam dot. You going to work for me? No, we want that there, so I need to put it, I need to do a little bit of adjusting here. once you have your main doobly-doos down, then you can start considering what are those final little finishing touches. And I firmly believe you don't have to use all the things on a layout. Like there are some layouts where they're just like this. I choose one icon and I go with it. And in this case, I'm using stars repetitively on the layout. And I'm cool with that. All right. Little bit of Barely Art liquid glue, some of my favorite. You guys have seen me use this a lot. If you're new, by the way, I use that glue a lot. Alrighty, I'm just gonna stick that there. Yes, okay. Liking this, liking it, loving it. And then because I have some other colors going on around the border, I think I can pull in. There's some little kind of an orangiest. What's orangiest? That's a new word. Add that to the doobly-doos. Tammy says she's got wet glue. It's going down. You got that right. Yeah, I like the About Me on the photo too. Me too. Okay, we're going to go with it. Let's do it. Let's do it. There, it's done. Let's add a little bit more splash of color to this, just a tiny bit to zhuzh it up. So I have these little puffy dots. I have, whoops. Is there anything in here? No, it's probably just butterflies, flowers. Okay, I don't want all that today. Alrighty. So I thought about just adding nope, that's too pink. I thought I had some that were orangey. I probably do. Let me see. I want to add just another little spick of color. And while I'm thinking of that, I need to put this guy down and also add some twine to him. So this is the point of the layout where I'm just getting those last little teeny bits, those last little touches. I'm just going to wrap a little bit of twine around this guy here just to make it consistent with the tag that I made for my title. Don't unravel. Don't unravel. There we go. Anybody else talk to their embellishments while you're working with them? I totally do. All right, so I'm just going to wrap that around like that just to add a little bit of something there. Zhuzh that up, some little doobly-doo there. Trim that. Let's glue it down to the best of its ability. Come on, dude. You're gonna have to stay down. Okay. Now it's like, no, I'm gonna unravel. Ah, come on. We're live television. Or live YouTube, rather. Not television. Maybe one day. Alright, it's fraying just a teeny bit, so I'm just going to cut that little frayed part off. That detail only matters to me. It won't matter to anybody else. Alright. Cool. Okay, I have some enamel dots somewhere. Hang tight. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. Let's bring out the Box O embellishments. And let's finish this out. I hope that you're inspired to make something this weekend, even if you can only take a couple of hours, maybe you have 30 minutes, whatever you have, to take a little bit of time to yourself, right? You deserve it. You need that time to rest, relax, and what better way to do that than to make something beautiful? Make a scrapbook page, right? And here's some. Okay, I don't need that many options. These are just dots we're talking about here, like not the Taj Mahal. Okay, so I want to add just a little bit of a pop of color to play off the color here in the pattern papers. And I'm trying to see, that might be a little bit too dark of an orange. Ah, that might work. These are Gin Hatfield puppy dots. And I thought of just adding some little dots here and there. Now I added those on, I don't like them. So I'm gonna take them off. Okay, well we tried it, didn't like it, it's coming off. I'll think of something else to finish it out, but I don't like those. It's not the right color. And I'm usually not that picky about it, but it's not the right color. I'll figure it out. Okay, now, is there anything else I want to do to this thing? That's usually my process. I'll be like, hey, will this work? And then I put it on, and then I say either, yeah, it works, or no, it doesn't, and then it goes away. Then it goes away. I feel that I need a little something down here. That might not be it, though. I have so much blue and green on here. I feel there needs to be something down here. I'll figure that out. I don't know what that's going to be yet, but I'll figure it out. Okay, we're going to stop there because I'm overthinking it, and I don't want to put something down that I will later regret. Cody says, I love sequins to finish. That might be an option. One of my greats coming over tomorrow. Oh, cool. I hope to play mixed media. Have fun. Ink splatters would also be another option too. I would probably splatter a little here, and then maybe somewhere in this area. That could be another option. A scallop border. I thought about doing something here underneath the title to kind of finish that out and fill in a little bit of that white space. That may be a really good spot for a faux stitch stamp or a scallop stamp, some kind of stamping here. I could also do a scallop using some of the pattern, some of these papers that I have, just kind of continue on in that vein. Carly says hand-drawn stars. You know what? I don't doodle or hand draw anything, but I do have some stamps that would probably work there. So those are all really good ideas. All very good ideas. So I will figure that out once I, sometimes I have to be off camera and let it, and like put it away, and then I'll bring it out again. Like, ah, yes, that's what it needed. Okay, so we've got the 8.5 by 11. Used nothing but items from my stash. Have the background paper that's from Lawn Fawn. I don't know what collection it's from, but it's from Lawn Fawn. Just to give a little bit of pop of color. Did sort of a layered lattice background using some pattern papers that I cut up last week. So if you want to check that out, just head on over to my live stream playlist and you can check out last week's video. And what I did was I simply created a little lattice design there. You can still see it. It's not totally covered by the photos. This is another reason why I love smaller photos, because I can get a whole lot more space for embellishing and stuff on a 8.5 by 11 spread. I added in some chipboard stars from Felicity Jane. Added Simply the Best little tag up here, just to kind of fill that space in. And it also creates a visual triangle. Created a tag here that also serves as part of my journaling. Used some letter fonts from Hip Kit Club to spell out the word peaked. Use some stamps from Ellie Studio to spell out I think I've. So the whole title says I think I've peaked. I'm going to add a little something here. More than likely it's going to be stamped. Don't know what that's going to look like yet, but you'll see it in the pictures once I post it. Got a little tag situation there as well, a little bit of twine. Did my photos in black and white. I just really love how this all came together. And I usually use pink on my daughter's layouts. But I'm glad I didn't use pink on this one, because pink's not one of my favorite colors. I love blues and grays and greens and stuff like that. So this is definitely kind of my jam here. So this is all done, except for what I plan to do here at the bottom underneath the title, just to add a bit of a finishing touch, a little bit of grounding to that. I would, if I could, I thought about doing some stitching around the border, but I'm not going to do that. But you could just some machine stitching, some hand stitching. I can even do a little bit of stitching here too if I wanted to. So I'm going to look at some different options and see what I want. And I will post this up on Instagram. So make sure you follow me on Instagram. And I'm going to be sharing my recent layouts at some point this week, or not this week, but some point this month on the YouTube channel, doing a layout share, because I haven't done one of those in a very, very, very long time. So I plan on doing that hopefully soon. And hold on just a second. I think we have somebody who is trying to spam. There we go. Alrighty, so I think that I'm going to call this layout, I'm going to call this layout done, and we'll include this as a part of the layout share later on this month, so you guys stay tuned for that. Alrighty, so we are done with today's live. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, make sure that you follow me on all of my socials. The links to those are down in the description box below. I don't have any product links today because this is all from my stash and some of this stuff may not be available, so I don't have any product links. But I highly encourage you to reach in your stash and use the items that you have. Use those cut up pieces of pattern paper. Create something that's unique to your own design style. Consider using stamping as a part of your title. And just play around. Slap it on the layout. If you don't like it, you can always pull it up and do something else. My thing is, when you ask yourself, well, will this work? I don't know. Go ahead and try it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You can always start all over. It's just paper, right? All right. If you like today's live, make sure you hit the thumbs up. I appreciate you guys every week coming to hang out with me. You guys are so much fun. I hope that you enjoyed today's live. It has been just I always love doing these lives. I always love it because I think that it's not only a great way to get to know a creator, but it's also a really good way to get ideas and inspiration for projects and stuff in real time, because you know, you can watch all the recorded videos, right? And those are always great, but it's great to kind of hear the behind the scenes process of your favorite designer. So I love doing these lives every week. Stay tuned for more content. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for your support. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel when you do, click the bell. That way you'll be notified each and every time a new video or when I go live comes here to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. Follow me on all my socials. Hey, have a fantastic weekend. Do something fun and creative for yourself this weekend. The laundry, the dishes, the cleaning, all that stuff can wait. Sit down and have some fun this weekend, okay? Have a good one, guys, and I will see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Bye-bye.